It was just another quiet morning on the farm, until a massive, starving grizzly bear appeared on the doorstep. The farmer froze, expecting chaos or worse. But what unfolded in the next few moments defied all logic and left everyone stunned. The grizzly appeared just after sunrise, like a ghost conjured from the mist. Kenneth stood frozen on his porch, barefoot, a mug of steaming instant coffee in hand. The bear stood no more than 10 feet away, full-grown, ribs showing through its matted coat, breath pouring out like furnace heat in the cold spring air. For a split second, Kenneth wondered if he was still dreaming, but he wasn't. The bear's eyes locked onto his. Barkley, Kenneth's old mutt, stood beside him, silent. No growl, no bark, just a low, trembling whine. The bear didn't roar, didn't charge. It didn't even stand tall. Instead, it sagged, like someone had pulled the plug on it, dropped straight down with a wheeze, its massive body slumping onto Kenneth's welcome mat like a collapsing building. Blood caked its paws. One ear was half torn. It was a wreck. Kenneth's heart pounded so hard, he thought it might give out before the bear did. He backed inside, careful not to slam the door, and grabbed the rifle from behind the fridge, where he always kept it. He returned to the window, barrel raised, staring through the screen. The bear was still there, still breathing. Barely. 10 minutes passed, maybe 30, long enough for the coffee to go cold and for Kenneth's fingers to cramp around the trigger. Finally, he lowered the gun, not because of compassion, but because he didn't know what the hell to do. That morning was supposed to be simple. Feed the dog, check the barn, curse the frost. Instead, death had collapsed on his doorstep. Kenneth, 54, widowed, a former construction man with too much time and too many ghosts, had been living alone for years on a patch of land no one cared about. He grew vegetables, fixed tractors, kept chickens. Barkley was the only soul he spoke to most days. The bear was the first visitor in months. Barkley started pacing, whining low. Kenneth cracked the door open. The bear hadn't moved, but one eye was open now, watching. Kenneth stepped out slowly, rifle in one hand, the other wrapped around Barkley's collar. The bear didn't flinch, just stared. Its breath reeked of rot. Its body looked like it had been through hell. Maybe it had. Kenneth muttered, "What the hell do I do with you?" The bear blinked, slow, heavy, like it understood. That night, Kenneth didn't sleep. He remembered the tracks he'd found a week earlier by the chicken shed. Huge, deep, fresh. He'd laughed it off then. Maybe a prank, maybe a wandering black bear. But now, it made sense. The next morning, Kenneth stepped outside with leftovers. Stew, bread, half a bag of kibble. He set it down. The bear didn't react at first. Then slowly, it dragged the container closer and ate. Clumsy. Silent. Barkley watched through the screen. The next day came, and the bear was still there. Kenneth fed it again, watched it limp, barely able to move. He started noticing the injuries. A swollen paw, likely from a trap. An old wound across the flank. Infection, maybe. Pain, definitely. And yet, it had come here to him. Kenneth sat on the porch, rifle beside him. Barkley curled up at his side. The bear lay just a few feet away, a dying shadow that refused to leave. Day after day, Kenneth fed it. Scraps at first. Then real food. Eggs. Bacon. Leftover meatloaf. Not because he pitied it. At least, that's what he told himself. But because it was there, and he couldn't ignore it. It didn't growl. Didn't threaten. Just ate. And watched. Kenneth began talking to it, not expecting answers, just to fill the silence. One morning, after a cigarette and a restless night, he asked the question he'd been holding in for days. "What the hell do you want from me?" The bear looked up, and in that moment, something shifted, not in the bear, but in Kenneth. He saw it. Not the fur, not the weight, or the claws, but the grief, the exhaustion, the unbearable stillness of something that had survived the worst and still hadn't let go. Later that day, Dale showed up. "You've lost your damn mind," the man muttered, staring at the bear from the truck window. That thing could kill you. Kenneth said nothing. Dale left in a cloud of gravel and judgment. 2 hours later, a black SUV rolled up the dirt road. A park ranger stepped out, sunglasses and authority. They wanted to tranquilize. Relocate, or worse, Kenneth said. Not yet. The ranger gave him 1 day. That evening, the bear shifted, stood, limped toward the trees, paused, looked over its shoulder one last time, and then it vanished into the forest. But it wasn't over. The next morning, Barkley barked once, sharply. Kenneth looked where the dog stared. A blood trail in the mud. A torn piece of fabric. Ranger blue. Hours later, word spread. The ranger had gone missing. There was blood in the woods. A search party formed, not for the man, but for the bear. Kenneth didn't wait. He grabbed his rifle and ran. He found the bear caught in a trap. Illegal, rusted, bleeding. And he found the ranger, alive but wounded, limping out of the brush. Locals tried to finish what they'd started, but Kenneth stood between them and the bear. This is not just a bear, he said. He didn't attack. He came here to survive. The ranger backed him. They freed the bear. And by morning, he was gone again. No tracks, no blood, nobody, just silence. A month later, Kenneth found a single paw print in the mud outside his porch. Barkley sniffed it, then lay down. Kenneth didn't speak, didn't call out. He just sat on the steps, warm coffee in his hand, the print already fading in the rain. And for the first time in 5 years, he let himself cry. Not for the bear, not for his wife, but for something else. For the reminder that he was still here, still part of something, still alive, and sometimes that was enough. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.